Hey wrestling fans, welcome to another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And tonight I am being joined by a very special guest here for the second time this week actually. Have to do it over again due to some technical problems. It's the very talented Xandra Bale, and welcome back to the show.
Thanks again for having me.
And hopefully things will go okay today. We'll have no trouble. And I want to start things off by talking about Clash Wrestling. And you made your Clash debut this past January. And so far, you've made a few appearances since then. And how do you like working for Clash?
Clash is a great wrestling promotion. I've really enjoyed my time there, and I feel like I've made quite an impact in the few short appearances that I've made there, and I'm looking forward to making an even bigger impact in the upcoming shows.
And now, speaking of that first match you had at Seize the Day 6, you faced somebody that you're very familiar with, Leah Von Dutch. And what were your thoughts on that match?
Well, obviously I didn't end up coming out on the winning end of that, unfortunately. Leah Von Dutch cheated her way to victory in our first contest. It was a good match. I was happy with a lot of aspects of it. Unfortunately, the end result was not what I was hoping for. But Leah Von Dutch has certainly not heard the last of me. That's for sure. I will be coming back for my win, and hopefully she won't cheat so much this time.
And when you returned to Clash Wrestling was at Age of Allegiance, and you took on Jasmine, and you defeated her in the middle of the ring. And what I thought, it was a great wrestling match that you two put on. And what are your thoughts on Jasmine?
Jasmine, I have a lot of respect for her. I think she's a very skilled young wrestler. I think she's a little bit misguided at this stage. I don't know why she would be on the opposing side of me. I mean, I am a superhero after all, so I don't know what she thought she could do against me. I feel like if she just had some proper guidance, she'd probably be better off in Clash Wrestling. But she seemed to have aligned herself with Leah Von Dutch, so that's her mistake. And I beat her in the middle of the ring, made her tap out, and I'm looking forward to doing the same to Leah when I get my hands on her next.
So, if she were to change her mind, would you kind of take her under your wing and teach her some stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm a very forgiving person. I am a superhero after all, so we have to be forgiving for people. So, if she decided to change her mind and, beg me for my forgiveness, I would certainly consider it.
And now, at Grapple Ganza, just about a week or two ago, you were in tag team action with Elysia Sparks and LVD once again, and she teamed with Jasmine. And can I get your thoughts on that tag team match?
Well, first of all, I must say I thought that was a fantastic match.
I agree.
Women's wrestling has been under fire recently, and there's certain people that have a certain idea for what women's wrestling should be. And I think all those people who have a certain idea for what women's wrestling should be should check out that match to see what women's wrestling is these days. Because we're all four good-looking girls who can go in the ring, and that's how it should be. But yeah, just in terms of the stories in that match, Leah Von Dutch avoided me the entire match. I don't know if you noticed that, but she was avoiding me the whole match, and got my hands on Jasmine again a few more times, and unfortunately they cheated their way to victory one more time, and I think you haven't seen the last of the partnership between myself and Elysia Sparks, and I look forward to getting my hands on Leah Von Dutch again.
And like I mentioned the other day, I actually had a chance to talk to Leah Von Dutch after the show, and she said that there's only enough room in Clash Wrestling for only one dominant Canadian female in Clash, and that's going to be her. So would you care to respond to those comments?
Well, I hope she's enjoyed her run in Clash. Just letting her know that I've arrived and my time is now, and she's got nothing on a superhero, so I don't know why she's even trying to compete with me. And I just thought I'd like to mention that I don't like the Dutch, and there will be no Dutch person trying to boot me out of Clash Wrestling. So her claiming to be a Canadian is false. She is Dutch.
And also on that show, you were a lumberjill in the main event for the Clash Heavyweight Championship, Jay Miller and Dead Vaughn. So what was your thoughts on that main event for the evening?
I thought it was quite a good main event. I was a little distracted on the outside. Sleazy Sparks and I were aligning ourselves with Justin Maine, and we were kind of watching out for his well-being while we were lumberjills there. But I thought the match itself was quite well done. I think Jay Miller is a very talented champion. However, I think Justin Maine will be challenging for the main event and will be taking his belt any time now.
That would be a great match to see right there. And are there any chances we could see a 6-person tag team with you three?
I certainly wouldn't rule it out. Obviously, I'm very closely aligned with Sleazy Sparks, and we seem to hit it off a little bit with Justin Maine, so I certainly wouldn't rule that out for the future.
And also on that show, it got started a little late due to some kind of power outage in the building. It was kind of a crazy night. The show actually started with no power. And have you ever been a part of any shows where anything crazy like that happened?
I've been a part of shows that have started late because of various different things. The power outage was a first. Unfortunately, I had wrestled on a show earlier in that afternoon and was waiting for the power to come back on to be able to do my hair and such, so that was a bit of an interesting situation. But under the circumstances, I felt like Clash did very well with what they had that night, and the show went off without a hitch other than the power, I would say.
And another show coming up this weekend for Squared Circle Wrestling. Actually, there's 2 shows, and on one of them, you'll be taking on a former TNA Knockouts champion, Angelina Love. So, can I get your thoughts on Angelina Love?
Certainly. Just not to overlook the match before, because I try and take it kind of one match at a time, but the night before in Barrie, Ontario, that's Saturday, June the 29th, I believe, I'll be taking on Jasmine one more time, and looking forward to getting my hands on this young upstart again, so just not to overlook that match. But Angelina Love is a person I've been looking forward to facing for a very long time, obviously very successful in this business, and going back to her roots, she began at Square Circle Wrestling. That's where I began as well, and looking forward to having a good, clean contest with her, hopefully. Nothing but respect for Angelina, and hopefully things go as planned, and I can pull out a big victory. I'm really hoping to make a statement this year in professional wrestling and make my name stand out with the other girls of Squared Circle who have gone on to great success, including Gail Kim, Tracy Brooks, and Angelina Love, as well as Taylor Wilde. So, I'm very much looking forward to the match and hoping to pull out the big victory here.
And also, how much are tickets, and where is it exactly for people that are listening that might want to make it to the shows?
That show, which is Sunday, June the 30th, will be at Whitby at the Class Act Dinner Theater. I believe it's an evening show, but Squared Circle Live will have all the information. If you go on Twitter at Squared Circle L, I believe it is, and SquaredCircleWrestling.com, you should be able to get all the information from there. If not, you can certainly hit me up on Twitter or Facebook as well, and I will find out the information for you. I believe tickets are about $15, but don't quote me exactly on that one.
And do you know, in case there's anybody that can't make it to the show, if this will be on DVD or anything?
There's probably plans for a DVD release. I'm unsure if it will actually happen, but we will see. If not, I'm planning on recording the match myself, so I'll find a way to get that out to people if they want to see it.
Awesome. And coming up July 6th for NCW Femmes Fatales, you'll actually be teaming with your rival LVD in a tag team match. So, and I know you have teamed with her in the past, but what's that going to be like next time?
Well, the relationship with LVD and myself is very fragile, we'll put it that way. For Femme Fatale, it's a relationship of convenience. On the last show, it was supposed to be a one-on-one match against Midian and myself, and Betty Rage and Desiree got involved in the match. So as a result, now it's a planned tag team match with Betty Rage on the outside. So for the moment right now, it's smart to keep LBD on my side because I wouldn't want a 4-on-1 situation. So 3-on-2 odds are a little better than 4-on-1. So it's a relationship of convenience. It's not that I don't have respect for Leah, we just don't quite see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and one way or another we seem to have some chemistry together, so it's a relationship of convenience, and we'll see how long it lasts for.
And now to get back to Clash a little bit, the next show coming up August 31st at All Out War, and will you be on the show?
I'm not sure at this time if I'm going to be on the show. I would certainly like to be. I know I won't be able to get my hands on Leah Von Dutch because I know she's not planning on being on that show, but, I have a lot of respect for the fans in Detroit, and I think I should grace them with my appearance, but I'm waiting to hear what I will be doing for that day.
And just to get a quick plug-in real quick, that if in case anybody has a chance to see you live, that they should go buy your awesome pictures, because I bought one at the last Clash show. It's great.
Yes, they most definitely should. I am a superhero, and I like to represent all the different superheroes, so you can get a picture of me dressed as their favorite superhero. Or villain, whichever.
Now, I like how you say that what do you got on a superhero, and are there any plans of maybe putting that on a t-shirt to sell?
There is a t-shirt in the works. I've been working on it for actually the last couple months. Progress is kind of stalled on it, but there's definitely something in the works, so I'm hoping to get that out in the next couple of months. You may see that slogan on the shirt. I think in the first couple drafts I haven't had it on there, but it may end up coming out in the final draft.
And I would like to get one of those, and hope I can be one of the first ones to get one.
You'll certainly be one of the first ones to know when it's all ready to go, for sure.
And now, speaking of superheroes, who is your favorite one of all time?
Without a doubt, that would be Batman, and that was my very first costume that I did with the superhero theme. So, homage to my favorite Batman.
And another Batman question real quick here is, who do you think has played Batman the best in any of the movies?
My namesake, the Bale last name comes from Christian Bale, and that's exactly who I think has been the best Batman. Close second going to Michael Keaton, and distant third and fourth to George Clooney and Val Kilmer.
And, now, superheroes in wrestling, there's been the Hurricane, and of course Mighty Molly, and Super Eric. Now, who do you think was the best superhero in wrestling?
I'm tempted to go with my girl, Mighty Molly. I got a lot of respect for Molly in the ring, and Hurricane was great as well, but just as a female wrestler, I was more in tune with Mighty Molly.
And, would you ever like to form a tag team with her, and maybe be two superheroes working together?
Yeah, that would be an interesting tag team for sure. If the opportunity would ever surface, I would love to jump on that. But I think she's all but done wrestling, unfortunately, at this stage. But, hopefully I can have an opportunity to learn from her in another aspect. But, I would certainly jump on that opportunity if it were presented.
And now I just want to get your thoughts on the current state of women's wrestling in the big companies, mainly WWE.
I alluded to this a little bit in the past before, in one of your past questions. So, current state of women's wrestling, in the WWE, I think it's looking on the up for sure. Some of the recent hirees that the WWE has hired for NXT have been a lot of former Shimmer wrestlers. I mean, you've got Paige, Emma, Bailey, a few others who are former Shimmer wrestlers. So, coming up right now, you've got a very bright future. And of course, Sarah Del Rey is the head trainer at NXT. There's nothing but good things that can come from a woman like Sarah Del Rey. In terms of what's currently on TV, I mean, you've got a whole bunch of really great female wrestlers that are on the roster right now. Between Natty Neidhart, Caitlyn is learning. She seems to be getting better every week, so it's nice to see that. AJ Lee has a very, very exciting and different character out there. So I would say as a whole, women's wrestling is starting to look like it's going back on the up again. Wasn't a big fan of the bra and panties and swimsuit and whatever else days. It was a little bit hard to watch as a female wrestler, but it seems like we have a bright future coming up, and women's independent wrestling is very healthy and is doing very, very well. And we just need everyone to jump on board with that new philosophy where, not only are we good-looking girls, but we can wrestle just as well as the guys. So put us in positions where we can shine, and we're going to do it every single time.
Now, the other day when we talked, you said you saw the match at TNA Slammiversary a few weeks ago between Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell. It was a last knockout standing match. And what did you think of it?
I thought it was a fantastic match. I know TNA has been doing extremely well in terms of what they're doing with their knockouts, and using the gut check as a good springboard to get their girls into the company. Unfortunately, due to the timing of when the TNA shows are on, I haven't been able to watch too many, but I did happen to catch that match and was quite impressed with it. Gail Kim, again, a former Squared Circle girl, I tried to follow her career quite closely, and she is one of those girls who could wrestle just as well as any of the guys, if not better. Just amazingly skilled, very, very talented girl. So I try and follow her as close as I can. And she's getting up there in age, but she's still going very strong. So very, very proud of her.
And last week on Impact Wrestling, it was announced that their next live show they have that's going to be in Vegas, they're actually going to have a ladder match with Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell once again. So, do you think these two will be able to pull it off and have another great match?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've got the right two girls in that match, based on the girls on that roster, to be able to pull off a match like that. It should be very, very interesting to see, and I'll definitely be watching for that one. I think the girls aren't used as well as they should in terms of those gimmick matches. We can do a lot of fun things on the ladder as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great match, and I'm looking forward to it.
And now, what are your thoughts on two women's promotions? Well, the biggest ones here in the States, Shimmer and Shine.
Two promotions that are definitely on the up as well. Shine obviously just kind of surfacing fairly recently, but both Shimmer and Shine are run very similarly and use very similar people in terms of their rosters and in terms of the people that they have backstage. So two promotions with a very good idea of what women's wrestling should be, and that are following that model. I had the privilege of being able to perform on the last Shimmer, and just such an amazing environment backstage with the girls, and the crowd. The crowd in Berwyn was just fantastic. So it was probably the best weekend of my career for sure. So I look forward to hopefully performing for Shimmer in October, hopefully, and I'm hoping to debut on Shine later this year as well. So two promotions that are definitely on my radar that are fantastic promotions to work for.
And right now, at this time, I want to just give out some names here and want to get your opinions on the people.
Okay.
First off, gotta start off with her. We talked about her earlier, Leah Von Dutch.
Talented but misguided, we will say. I do not like that she has put herself on the opposite end of me in many situations. And I don't know what her problem is with me. She called me a super zero. What's that about? I fight crime for a living, and she wants to call me a super zero. I don't get that.
And how about Jasmine?
Again, very talented, misguided, I would say. Jasmine is a girl who has wrestled only a handful of matches at this stage, which for her stage in the game, she's really, really ahead of her game, or ahead of her time, I should say. So she just needs to keep her head where it should be, and watch who ends up influencing her. She needs to stay away from Leah Von Dutch and, come under my wing. I'll help her out a lot more than what Leah Von Dutch will.
Next up, Silesia Sparks.
Powerhouse. Amazing girl. I have nothing but positive things to say about Silesia, and she is one girl that everybody should keep their ears open for about what she's doing in the future, because this is a girl who's got all kinds of momentum behind her right now, has overcome a ton and works very, very hard for the position that she has. So definitely someone to keep your eyes on, and follow her in ROH, and I think you'll see her debut for a lot of big promotions this year.
Courtney Rush.
Another fantastic wrestler. I've got nothing but positive things to say about Courtney. She's one of my favorite opponents and also one of my favorite people. Just a very genuine individual. Tells it like it is. Will give it to you straight every time you ask her it. So a very, very positive individual in my career and also in my life, and very appreciative to have her, not only as a friend, but as a great opponent as well. Nothing but positive things for Courtney in the future.
How about Jules Malone?
Another hardworking girl. Jules is another younger one in this business. Very, very mature girl. She's done so much to improve herself in the last year, and everyone should really be taking notice of that. She's a girl who puts in the work and deserves the opportunities that she's been getting, and hopefully nothing but success for her in the future as well.
Sarah Del Rey.
The queen of wrestling. I don't know if anything more should be said other than that. She is an absolutely phenomenal wrestler and a fabulous mind, and the people at NXT should feel very privileged to have her as their head trainer.
Next up now, Tara, a.k.a. Victoria.
Tara is another extremely talented wrestler that really had no business even being here. I mean, she started out as one of the Godfather's hoes and just worked her butt off to become one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I have nothing but respect for a girl who could have sat back and kind of collected the paychecks without doing anything. And, she learned the ropes and she learned them so well. I had the privilege of meeting her at the last Shimmer tapings. It was quite an honor seeing her there. And she was just so excited to be there to meet all the girls. And another one of those very genuine, very sweet individuals. And, hoping for nothing but success for Tara as well.
And would you like to work a match with her sometime down the road?
Yeah, if there was ever an opportunity to, I would jump all over that. Yeah, most definitely.
Next, Trish Stratus.
Arguably the best female wrestler that there ever was. Certainly the most famous, and honored to have her as a Canadian. And again, she's got a bit of a squared circle connection. Definitely a girl that I've modeled myself after in some aspects. And just a very genuine, nice person. I mean, when I met her for the first time, I was so hesitant to approach her, and she actually approached me to meet me, and that was really, really something. So nothing but amazing things to say about Trish.
Lita.
Another really great girl in this business. A girl who is very, very innovative. One of the first high-flying women, I would say, of this modern era. Really broke a lot of barriers, in the first main event that the females ever had. I believe it was against Stephanie McMahon, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it was.
Her winning the title. So, a girl who broke a lot of barriers and is incredibly talented.
Amazing Kong.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary is the first thing that comes to mind. Just an absolutely phenomenal athlete. For a girl her size, she is so agile and, so able to do all the moves that you wouldn't even think she would be able of doing. I saw a match between her, Angelina, and Taylor Wilde the other day, and she went for a flipping senton off the second rope. So, I never thought I would see Amazing Kong pull that move out. But, I've had the privilege of meeting her as well, and just a very genuine, nice lady, and just, really loves this business and gives it her all every time she's out there. So, an amazing woman.
And now to ask about a couple of non-wrestlers. First, Dixie Carter.
Dixie Carter. To be quite honest, I don't know enough about her background to be able to comment very well on it, but I respect anyone who's trying to promote women's wrestling. So, that's pretty well the most I can say about her.
How about Stephanie McMahon?
Stephanie McMahon. Very, very powerful woman in wrestling, and again, one of those people who could have easily sat back and not got involved in the wrestling ring, but she chose to train and she chose to get involved, and she did pretty well for herself, actually. I was quite involved with not only Stephanie, but also Shane McMahon when they were in the ring, so a girl who definitely is very smart and very athletically gifted. And yeah, definitely the future of professional wrestling is Stephanie McMahon when her father steps down. But yeah, nothing but good things to say about her.
To get back to wrestlers now, how about Natalya Neidhart?
Natty, one of my favorite professional wrestlers to watch, both before she got to the WWE and now currently in the WWE. Unfortunately, I feel like she's one of the more underutilized wrestlers, though, although I hear she's on this week's SmackDown, so I'm looking forward to seeing her wrestle there. But yeah, one of those wrestlers that unfortunately I feel like has kind of taken a back seat in the women's division at this point, and not sure about her partnership with Kelly. It's a bit of an interesting partnership, but yeah, a very genuinely nice lady and a phenomenal wrestler.
How about Edge?
Edge, another squared circle guy. Yeah, he had a phenomenal career, amazingly successful, a very talented in-ring performer and a great mind for this business. Yeah, another guy with I have a lot of positive things to say. You're not really going to hear me say anything negative, I don't think, about too many people. I don't hate too many people. Leah Von Dutch being one.
True. And next up, Chris Jericho.
Jericho, again, one of my favorite performers currently to watch. He, along with Dean Ambrose, CM Punk, a few others, Daniel Bryan I need to mention as well, as my favorite in-ring performers to watch with their current product. Yeah, Jericho, just an amazing babyface, an amazing heel, a great performer, a rock star. He's done it all in this business, and nothing but respect for a man who's won every title there is to win, and who does it now just because he loves it so much. He doesn't need it financially. He doesn't need it, the 200 days on the road. He doesn't need the aggravation, but he loves to entertain, and we love to watch him. So, yeah, amazing talent.
And the last one, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Arguably the greatest Canadian wrestler ever, and for good reason. Bret's, again, another great mind for this business, put together some of the best matches you'll ever see. His match against Mr. Perfect from SummerSlam is one of my absolute favorite matches, and I always kind of go back to that match when I'm looking for moves and different sequences to try. And yeah, just an amazing talent, and proud that he's a Canadian wrestler.
And before we wrap up, I gotta bring up one thing. On May 29th, you were the Diva of the Day on Guruk.net, so I'm sure that was quite an honor.
Yeah, very much an honor. I've done a little bit of promotional stuff for Guruk.net, and it's a great website, a very good resource for female wrestling, so everyone should definitely be checking out the website. And yeah, it's always an honor when you're given an accolade like that, so it was definitely fun to see. And
now, to put it out there, what is your Facebook and Twitter so anybody can follow you?
On Facebook, you can find me Xandra Bale. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one out there. I don't think I've got any false accounts made yet, thank goodness. Hopefully it stays that way. I'm not that interesting a person to impersonate. And then my Twitter handle is at Xandra Bale, one word, Xandra. And yeah, I probably am a little bit more active with what I put on my Twitter. However, you can find a lot of match photos, and I'll post some matches up on my Facebook account as well. In addition, I'll also post my wrestling dates under my info section for whatever my upcoming dates are that I've announced. That can be found on my Facebook page. So, yeah, definitely follow me on both. And, yeah, always happy to talk to fans. So, feel free to shoot me a message.
Great. And thanks again for coming on the second time to redo this. I appreciate it.
No problem. Hopefully it works this time.
And I hope to have you on again right here on the show real soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. Hopefully after I defeat Leah Von Dutch and scare her far away from Clash Wrestling. Hopefully all the way back to England.